All right, and it looks like we are live. So I am here right now, if everybody can hear me.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, guys? I'm here right now with Eric Manganaro at Superposition, also John May, and finally, actually, Lewis, and he is with Open Equity. I'm sorry, I lost my tongue for a second there. Open Equity, and Open Equity is essentially trying to revolutionize the way that ERC tokens are created, and they have a lot of different interesting things going on. Lewis, glad to have you on the stream. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your project, maybe just a brief overview before we start going into maybe more of the technical stuff. So, what's going on with all that?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. So Open Equity, a non-technical users way of minting ERC tokens without having to know any coding, and essentially going through a work stream similar to something like Amazon Web Services. Managing their account balances, their minting and burning of coins, all through a platform that would be recognizable to someone who manages server space or bandwidth on AWS.
Zoom in on that? I can hardly.
Yeah, hey, John, can you zoom in on that? What you got going on with the 884? ERC 884, we're sharing your screen.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
What I have one's an article on the other.
Sure, no, that's okay. This is the Ethereum request for comment, which ERC stands for, and these are changes that were accepted as part of the Ethereum chain. Eric, can you maybe? So I'm very interested in this kind of like, I guess it's not really drag and drop, but I guess essentially drag and drop type functionality you got going on. Just being able to spin up an ERC coin, like what's the ramifications of like, I guess not having to code, like hours of work, I guess is like right off the top of my head, something that comes in. But I guess like what's the primary reason you did it? Just for basically the ease of the creation of the coin, or was it like people are, I guess, like writing contracts that, you know, maybe aren't the most reliable? Does this take a lot of the guesswork out of it? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I have a lot of people when they find out that I'm into cryptocurrency that ask, how can I create my own coin? Or do I need to know how to code to do it? And the answer is usually yeah, and you need to hire someone. And that's just not enough accessibility for the general market to really get into cryptocurrency in a way that could bring on mainstream adoption. So the first goal in this was to make it easy for regular people to just have a currency and do what they want with it. And we have some tools on the platform that will help guide them through accomplishing that. But yeah, additionally, we wanted to just make it super easy. There's many more interested people who could get into the crypto space. I think if they could understand how it could directly help them accomplish their goals. And one of the big problems I saw with the landscape was that the only way to really do this was to pay for it. So either you're going to pay for it to pay a developer to build you a coin, or there's some startups out there that are they have their own platforms that you have to pay for in order to create your coins. And the idea here is that we make all the software totally open source and available to anyone. So we aren't actually profiting off of this software, and therefore our roadmap decisions aren't influenced by personal gain. It's really meant to be a tool for mainstream adoption of raising investment or paying for a company without having to know how to program or without having to go to the New York Stock Exchange or some big financial firm. It's really meant to unlock the power of cryptocurrency for the general population, the non-technical population.
Okay, so there's a couple different things that I'm hearing there. One of them that like really I enjoy is like more of a mass adoption market. This is something that the end user is going to be able to spin up, maybe not know all the technical details about smart contracts or tokens or whatever in between, and you're really like basically reducing the amount of price that it would take to actually spin up a project or create some type of fundraising, because you're making it so easy. So this puts you, I guess, like in comparison to something like Polymath. One of the main points that you mentioned was you're not standing to directly profit, so you really don't have an interest in maybe steering the chain one way or another. You're kind of agnostic from the actual open source efforts and creating an actual like community driven effort to really like bring fundraising, I guess, to the masses in a way that you're not necessarily going to take a cut of what the fundraising is. It's more just put it out there, see how the community responds, and improve it as it goes along. Is that more how you guys are looking to do it?
Yeah, we'll be modeling the business. Well, it won't be a business. It'll be a nonprofit organization that functions off of donations.
Sure.
And I think one of the main ways that we'll look to capture that value from the users will be at coin creation, in the form of like donating a percentage of your coins to the foundation.
Sure.
Or directly, making a donation just through the website. So it shouldn't be influenced by any private gain from any other party. And I think that's like that is a main differentiator between any other platform that is out there right now.
Okay.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Eric, you got any questions? I mean, he gave me a very good overview there, but there might be some things that you heard from more like the technical side. You might have some questions. I'm going to kind of pass it over to you. You got anything you want to ask?
Well, not necessarily. I think that we definitely need more tools like this, because not everybody wants to go down that road of development, and being able to leverage the power of a token is super important.
Sure.
I think I read like an article really early on when I first learned about how to program Solidity, and the Medium article was just basically like tearing Ethereum to shreds. So it was really hard to use. Just basically spent all weekend learning how to do something very simple, and that the layperson or even someone who's interested in doing business can really stop you from doing business, and that's not what software is supposed to do, or even like you want to do. So it's great that we have initiatives now to make that process just like any good piece of software or tool to use.
Yeah, broadening the scope, so to speak, of the user base, right? So like we want to get it to everybody, and one of the benefits, like me and you like, is that whole unstoppable internet aspect, right? Like once it's out there, there's no getting it back, and that's a very interesting concept. Whatever interested party or special interest group might want to shut us down might not always be the right choice, and therefore when you create these things, they're kind of out there. It's like Pandora's box every time a new contract's made because it's permanent, right? So,
Sure, yeah.
yeah. So John May, I guess, has prepared kind of like a little rundown of maybe what this project looks like. And John, I guess if you wanted to take it away and maybe show us some of the things that you've been playing with this, and maybe a brief rundown technically.
Let me give an intro for John and what he's going to get into with 884
Sure.
from a business perspective.
Sure.
So you were just mentioning that this could be potentially like a fundraising tool, and that's really one of the primary utilities for it. In order to legitimize that, and you also mentioned that there was a decentralized like permanence to things that go up on the blockchain, which is important to this point as well.
Sure.
But the 884 ERC token is actually legal. It's a legal. There's a bill in Delaware that references the ERC 884 token and legally represents stock for a company. So that token, you can keep track of the accounting for all the shareholders that own your stock legally through that cryptocurrency.
Hey, question.
Yeah.
So, just for someone who may be just new to the game in terms of legality, what is the process of getting shares in a company? Like, I know it's like a C corporation or an S corporation.
Oh, sure.
Give me like a really superficial flyover of that and then connect the two, because I think I have a good idea of what it is, but I'm not going to assume that everyone else does. So maybe just like, if I were like, hey, I'm going to make my new bubblegum corporation.
Sure, I got you. How would you get stock?
Give me a quick.
Yeah. So the first thing you'd have to do is go onto the, I use Delaware, and I'm going to reference Delaware because the large majority of corporations are in Delaware.
Sure.
You go onto the Delaware Corporate Department website, Division of Corporations, Delaware Division of Corporations, and you download a form. Well, first you have to figure out which corporate type is best for your situation, and they provide a lot of resources to do that. And if you're smart enough to figure that out, God bless you, but it is really difficult and usually requires a lawyer. So after you get these forms, you sort of have to go to a lawyer to understand what is best for my specific situation and get consulting on it. So let's say you do that. Let's say you have a family friend and this didn't cost you any money. You were able to figure it out. It's a sole proprietorship, really easy form of business. Now you have to actually get shares filed with the IRS and state of Delaware, which is another form and has tax implications. So to prepare that form, you really do need a lawyer to get through that step. And then the IRS filing isn't that difficult, but you need to talk to an accountant to make sure that you are filing correctly, because it's going to have tax implications in your business about a year later after issuing your stock.
So this is kind of definitely damned if you don't, right? They're going to get you because you didn't follow the law, and it's going to catch up to you.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you don't go through the process of working through a state and the IRS, you're definitely going to have violations.
Great.
But for the accounting side of things, if you don't know what you're doing when you issue your shares, you might get hit with a huge tax bill a year later because you selected the file incorrectly when you actually filed your stock. So there's cost to it, essentially, and there's really expensive knowledge that you need in order to do this. And that's unrealistic for a huge percentage of the population to ever be able to achieve. Just to get stock is a huge investment. You're already taking an enormous risk. But before that, you have to actually put out your own money, and it just doesn't feel right. So the idea with the 884 token is to remove the need for doing that filing. I guess you might still have to do the IRS filing. Now that I think about it, you're still going to have to do that.
Okay.
But at least you won't have to pay a lawyer to do it. Like, the difference is when I had a startup and I went to issue shares, and I had to call a lawyer to get through the whole process of, with the ERC 884 token. Theoretically, we could streamline that whole process and remove the need for you to have a lawyer. And it might need to become a little configurable for different types of corporations, but I think with the standard would come the ability to really streamline that process and make it so that anyone could set up their Delaware corporation with stock without having to go through the hassle of finding a lawyer and doing paperwork.
Mm-hmm. So it's a very complicated process, and this is just one last thing that you're going to have to worry about as far as setting it up. You have enough financial hurdles to jump through, right? So this is going to contribute to just making your life a little bit easier just by working with a standardized tool that's going to be able to help you spin it up. As for the corporation and the corporate side of things, Eric, did you have questions? It sounded like you were going to jump in. Hello?
Ooh, yeah, I was muted. But I think that a lot of the questions that I have are meant for lawyers. But I started a corporation earlier this year in Delaware. I did not do it, but we definitely right up my alley at the moment. I really want to know what's good.
Yeah, and by the way, we're not offering any type of legal advice. Just consult your lawyer. I think this is just like an experience type thing of things that you definitely want to look into. Always consult a lawyer because this stuff gets extraordinarily complicated, and you don't want to be on the wrong end of any of that. So,
absolutely.
Don't just try and spin up a securities token and think everything's going to be fine and dandy. It's not how it works. I guess if you wanted to introduce John and kind of get rolling with the tax side of things and how this differs, that would be probably a good place to start.
Yes. So John's the main Solidity developer on the project, and he's going to walk you through the 84 standard and talk about how we need to modify our existing code to integrate properly with that different standard, because it's currently set up for ERC 20.
Okay. John, you still with us there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great.
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah,
World famous John there.
where am I going to get this? So, I mean, there's a few articles on the subject. So, I guess we can start at the state of what we have right now as a coin creator app. We have the ability to create ERC 20 coins. Right now, we have the... And so, look at what ERC 20 coin is. Can everyone see this on my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. I don't know if you could zoom in a little bit. Maybe people who are looking on their phones or something like that might be able to see it a little bit better.
Okay, so for the technical user, most people, wouldn't really know what the ERC 20 coin is. It's essentially a fungible coin that can be meant to be used as essentially a currency. So by fungible meaning, there's no way to differentiate one coin from but and to be used as a currency has all the things, it contains basic functions that allow for pretty much typical use. So this is basically the ABI this is an outline of the application binary interface for a ERC 20 token on my screen.
Hey,
Okay.
what's an application binary interface, John?
Good question. The application binary interface is, in simple terms, a basic list of all the functions that can be called in a library or piece of software. So there's
Sick.
so these are all the functions and properties that are possessed by any ERC20 token.
Bomb.
And the basic one should be solved as a total supply, and that's just the total number of coins there are, since all ERC20 coins have to start with a fixed amount. And so there has to be a function that lists this, and there's a balance of function. It simply lists the balance of any one uses. There's a transfer function, which is called by a user and transfers a user's coins to a specific address and of a specific amount. There's another function most people probably don't know about called transfer from. And what this does, allows a third party contract to transfer coins from a user to another user.
Hey,
And this is a really useful function. It allows you to upload. It allows any smart contract or distributed application to distribute coins between users. But this also, and transfer from comes with a few other functions. Allowance, which is the number of coins the third party can transfer.
Okay.
And so this function allowance incremented by another function called approve, in which the person whose coins are being spent approves the third party to take coins. And this is pretty important, so that a contract just can't take your coins. You have to approve it to take your coins and send it to someone else.
So without your signatures, they're not going to be able to withdraw from your account with this smart contract, or autonomously or purposefully, correct?
Correct. And so there's an event based on this approval, which every time you approve a smart contract to take your coins, the network is notified of it. And there's a transfer event every time coins are transferred, so the whole network knows about it. So these are the basic properties of ERC20 coin. You have balance, a total supply, and the ability to transfer, and the ability for third parties to transfer coins.
dump.
Cool.
And this is pretty much all you need for basic spending purposes. And so that is what our open equity is creating now. So we have automated creation of coins with these properties. But now legally, for the state of Delaware, there's another property not mentioned to start with, what's called decimal places. And this is the ability to create sub-fractions of tokens. So think of the dollar. The dollar has 3, or I guess 2 decimal places, because you can take up to 100th of a dollar in a penny, but you can't pay someone in half a penny anymore anyway.
It's the smallest divisible unit.
Yeah. I mean, technically you can, maybe through PayPal or something, but in the real world, you can't give someone half a penny.
Yeah.
No, but when you buy gas, you get 9/10 of a penny. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, so I guess the gas station can technically, but for normal use, you cannot. And so a normal ERC20 coin generally has a property called decimal places, where you specify the minimum divisible quantity of a coin. So how little can you spend? And the typical decimal places is 18 directly correspond to Ethereum. In most ERC20 coins for simplicity. But so one of the basic ideas of ER884 is there's only decimal places is set to 1, so that you cannot divide a share. So each coin is 1 share in a Delaware registered corporation, and so you can't transfer half a share. So it says here there's no partial ERC884 token. The other big concept is that of identity. Legally, you can't anonymously own stock in America.
Okay.
So to fit this whole idea,
This is like a KYC component. Correct?
KYC,
Yeah, know your customer.
basically, yeah. According
There
to
you go.
the Securities and Exchange Commission.
You got a subscriber.
So
Or a
So
follower.
there has to be an identity system. And for confidentiality, you don't want your actual information on the blockchain. So instead, your identity is represented of a hash, and this as a hash, which could be the hash, say, of, I don't know, your social security number, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And so to prove that you own something, you need to register a hash unique to your identity. And so there's 2 functions for this called, let's see, we can go back to the ERC884 verify, ABI. So there's a bunch of functions that allow the ability, so you add a verified user, and so you have to register your identity to the blockchain to have the ability to receive or buy a token. So there's there's an add verified, a remove verified, and events to register those.
I see.
And so there's updated transfer function, transfer from functions. There is holder function to see if someone is a shareholder, and then there's is verified function to see whether someone be a shareholder or has uploaded their information.
I see.
So, as a side note, we have a hashtag STO, and now I'm finding it's like Star Trek Online.
That's pretty funny. Yo, shout out to
hashtag S.
I think it's Vita L9. Shout out for giving us a follow on Twitch. Appreciate that, man. We're really trying to get that up. Also, everybody else, definitely join the Discord up. If you have questions and stuff, I'm monitoring the chat channel. So anything that John May is talking about right now, peace up, man. Vita L, appreciate it. Subscribe to the Discord. Make sure you join that up. We talk about this stuff all the time, constantly in there. There's a lot of things going on in the Fork Block Discord right now. We linked up the blog. We have Fork Blog now. We're going to be trying to put out, kind of write-ups on a lot of these live streams, so it's really condensed. But one of the reasons we do this live stream is so that we can be interactive, and we want to talk to you guys. So if there's like really a hanging question out there that somebody has, we're going to do our best to try and answer it, and particularly with John Mayon, sharp guy, going to be able to hopefully navigate to the correct answer. Between me, Eric, and
Press John for his knowledge juices live.
Yeah, and I mean, if you don't know certain things about blockchain, do you have a general question even? Like, we'll try to keep it on topic as possible, but if you really have something that's bugging you, definitely ask, and we'll see what we can do for you. But yeah, definitely remember to subscribe, join that Discord up so we can talk to you guys, and definitely chat me up if you have a question. But
if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, click that subscribe button, see if you have a free Twitch subscription. You can transfer it over here. Subscribe to us on Twitch. We got you can ring those bells on YouTube.
yeah.
I don't know what you do on Periscope, but you could do something.
You can do like super hard or something like that. It's pretty cool. Live stream is a good game.
Can you do super hard?
Yeah, I think there's a super hard function. I don't know. There's something up there. But yeah, man, we're trying to monitor everything. What John, I think one of the biggest questions about this live stream that we're doing right at this second, and probably in a lot of people's minds, and is like, exactly what are we talking about? Well, we kind of went over this at the beginning, and if you just joined, essentially there's this real murky regulatory structure about security tokens, and it's a huge pain, and nobody really knows. That the SEC will say one thing one day, they'll say another thing another day. And what this project, Open Equity, is trying to do is get rid of a lot of the obfuscation around, creating your own security token, making it easier to create an ERC20, an ERC884, ERC 721. They're trying to make it a lot easier from start to finish. You don't have to be a coder to be able to do it. It's an out-of-the-box solution that's going to allow you guys to be able to create something. And the best part about it is it's open source. It's going to be backed by a foundation and not so much a company, so they don't have a vested interest in steering the profits in one way or another, which is really cool. Something like Polymath is really in it to kind of make money, and that's good. I mean, I'm sure they have a great platform when they're trying to, everything they're trying to do with it.
Yeah, they got a good amount of, they've got a cool project going
But
on. It's just like,
it's
a different thing.
Yeah, it's like some people use Windows. Me and Eric, we like Windows. Sometimes, not really. Eric doesn't really probably ever like Windows, but Linux, is another option in Windows, and it allows you to do dev work a lot easier.
I'll be on Windows and I'll play Fortnite.
Yeah. So they have different.
What Windows is for me now.
They have different purposes, but this is really good for opening up the blockchain ecosystem here. It's good. The more tools that we have at our disposal, it's going to make it a lot easier to, I guess, grow the market and make it so devs can use it, so to speak. And that's where you're going to see mass market adoption. That's when everybody really starts making money, because you're going to have investment funds pouring money in, and then it's legitimized. So a lot of these tools are making it more clear, easier, eliminating mistakes that might be made, preventing security breaches, things like that. When somebody's writing them and they've thought out these things, and then it's just a drag and drop solution, so to speak, it just makes it easier. John, I'm sorry to hijack it from you, but you can continue on there.
That was a good summary of what.
Yeah, you could be Sandra Bullock and you could be Keanu Reeves. And you just ride this bus out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, so getting back to ERC 884. So, as I was discussing, the big issue is identity.
Okay.
Legally, you have to know who the investors are, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So that means each user has to register with an identity hash, and the implementer must have a database of who these hashes belong to. So let's see. So what's the other issue? Oh yeah, the big thing is users who lost access to their shares must be able to have their share certificate reissued in the case where the shareholder has lost or destroyed their original. So that means if you lose your private key, but you have an ER884 token, it's your lucky day.
Hey now.
Hey.
And you get your tokens back. Like every other single type of coin.
There you go. So that's super interesting. So who's overseeing this now? That issuance, is that the company that's raising it? Is that essentially how it works?
Yeah, that's the company who's selling the shares. They have to do this.
Okay.
And so that's going to be a feature eventually built into our system. Right now, we only have ERC20 tokens. So I guess we're going to do some live streaming to hack it to get the standard.
That's what we're talking about.
Let's just add some functionality.
Yeah, that's
literally adding functions.
see how we're going to do this. So we've discussed ERC 884 tokens. I think the audience has a basic understanding of what they are. how they compare to ERC20. So let's go into some open equity. And we can see what we would need to change to add ERC 884 tokens. So the nice thing is we don't actually have to write an ERC 884 token. With the magic of GitHub, we have a reference.
Now, whose repo is this?
This is Dave's SAG, I guess.
Good old Dave.
I was gonna say Dave's AG.
Dave's
That's
AG.
Dave Sag.
Some sweet neural style transfer.
Nice.
That would be a
What
fun
else
live
is
stream.
Neural style transfer.
Yeah,
What's going on here?
that's a really awesome algorithm. But
There's some swagger routes for Express. It's nice.
And so-
He's got like some mad swagger.
yeah, so we have a reference implementation, and I can't vouch for the implementation. I can't say it's perfect, but it's a good start, and it'll get us like basic functionality.
Shout out to Dave.
Well, I mean, anyone who's trying to use this, you're gonna have to do some security auditing,
Okay.
but eventually. But it looks pretty solid. It's using the Open Zeppelin Solidity ERC20 standard.
Okay.
We'll take in.
Mint
Do
Hippo.
you guys know much about Open Zeppelin?
I don't.
I do, but I think that for those who don't, we should tell them about it. It's important.
Because I honestly don't know much about them other than I use their contracts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know anything
But-
about them.
Okay.
Maybe we can get somebody from Open Zeppelin on the show. That'd be great.
Yeah, I would like to know more about like their company, what their. I know they have a huge repo of open source contracts for all these basic things.
Oh yeah, and we started scheduling, by the way. Everybody who's watching, we actually did start. We're gonna start putting up a calendar on the website. Probably be up by tomorrow. But we did start scheduling some calls. I know we have some interest. Who can we say that's coming on? I know we're getting Paul, the crypto curator from Crypto Market 360 on. He said that he was interested in maybe talking to us. So I'm pretty excited to have that lined up. We have a time. We're going to confirm it and make sure that happens, but should be next week, Tuesday. Then we have, I know ERC Dex wants to hop on. We still have to set that call up. And we have some others coming up, but we're going to be putting up a calendar with all the times that we're going to be doing it. And I think John's been working on another InfoSec hack as well. Is that right, John? Have you been looking at that at all or not?
Another security lesson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I have an outline for one.
Cool. Yeah, I know everybody really likes the InfoSec, particularly pertaining to the hacks and stuff. And they're really cool. It's a good way to know, like, you know, what you should be on the lookout for.
See examples of like broken contracts.
Yeah.
How you can lose massively on one line of code.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the reason why we're using something from Open Zeppelin, because they are a trusted and vetted source of these contracts.
So that's
So, like, for my other
sorry. I was going to say that's a big problem with IOTA is they didn't use a peer-reviewed algorithm when they implemented it.
What kind of algorithm?
They just didn't use they wrote their own for ternary or something like that. It's just absurd. Everybody took
what, for tangles?
yeah, but they could have used
what?
a different algorithm.
Was there a leak?
I don't think so. But there was a really smart cryptographer that was like, there's no point in doing a non-peer-reviewed algorithm, and he's like from Princeton. I can't remember. We're gonna have to do something on it. Like, we can talk about it, but yeah. I'm sorry. You were in the middle of something.
Check it out.
No, we'll continue on, but
So to get into some of the architecture of inequity, we don't use Open Zeppelin. This should probably be updated, but we are using what's called Human Standard Token.
human standard.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dude, I love
Human music is great.
It's almost as good as Human Standard Token. but they're called human standard because if you notice in the ERC's C20 token outline, they don't include a name or a symbol or any kind of identifier. Unlike most real tokens, like have a symbol. Is it ERC? Is it ETH or BTC or whatever? Yeah, all the other symbols. So ERC20 is a human standard takes an ERC20 token and adds a name, a fixed set of decimals, and a symbol. And so this imports a standard, an ERC20 token, which implemented was generally called a standard. So this has all the ERC20 functions, and the human standard token simply creates a standard token, but adds in an initial amount, token name, a decimal, symbol, and where all the initial and one of the standard features is the initial amount of tokens is all owned by the creator. So in this line, the one who deploys the contract has all the tokens. So that's some of the basic installed tokens in OpenEquity. So this is just kind of our back end, I guess you might call it token back end. That's all standard. But now what we have called coin.sol adds a lot to the standard. And so OpenEquity as it exists right now has special crowd sale and bidding functionality. So what OpenEquity has is the ability to, once you create the coin has its own crowd sale with the start date and
I see.
It also has the ability to create a bid, so a GoFundMe type system using coin sales is one of the optional features with these coins. They fully function as the ERC coins, but you can also create a bidding system for these coins where you can have a fundraising. So think of GoFundMe, but with the idea of investment. So you can. So one of the special features is specifically you can set a goal you want raised, and then a reward for the first X number of people who donate a certain. And so that's where some of these features, and you can also specify equity. Donate to your or buy your token. So tokens can get equity, and you can specify equity for users who buy tokens and a reward system for those who purchase the most and the earliest.
Okay.
So and Lewis didn't really get into that too much, but that is one of the ideas of OpenEquity is to create an incentive system for people to invest early in a company.
Okay. So this is like pre-sale type stuff.
Yeah, to create a pre-sale.
Got it.
With specific rewards and a contest. So you can have a pre-sale where so specifically the way it's written, we have a pre-sale where bidding earlier gives you more pre-sale points, and the ones who have most points can be set eligible for special prizes or access to, say, a new application, first in line to get a new product, or really anything. Fully customizable.
Okay, we got a question here. Is there a reason companies would want to migrate from ERC 20 to ERC 884? And the answer is yes. You want to kind of go into the, like, I guess.
Is this function right here, customership stake? So in our platform specifically, we allow the creator to specify an amount of equity for the company to customers. So buying a coin literally gets you equity in our stock.
Okay.
But now, do that legally with an ERC 20 coin? No, you can't do that. We'll get arrested. In the United States.
In the States. See, this is okay. So there's actually a couple things. If I could take the floor for a second, it would improve the SEC regulation, right? Mainly for tax laws. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I believe so. I'd have to defer to you, but I think it would. It would improve the SEC's regulations, right? Mainly for tax laws. So hold on, it's like it doesn't improve the SEC's regulations, ERC 884. It improves our ability to be able to comply with the SEC's regulations, because blockchain really doesn't have an effect on it. But like, if they dictate, like, here are the rules, we need, this is how a fundraising event is handled. You need to know your customer, KYC, which is basically that customer identification hash, and be able to reissue, and you have to know who's the owner of that particular share in your company. That's a big issue with the SEC. Now, overseas, they come out with basically security tokens with none of this stuff on it. They release things like, when you see something like an exchange that's paying out profits, that's actually a security, because there's an asset-backed, it's an asset-backed type token, and that's what we're talking about when we're talking about STOs. If you have an asset backing the value of a token, it is now an STO. If it is just an open source community project made to be able to, like, for instance, Bitcoin, that is not considered an STO as it sits right now. Now, I don't know how they would consider it one, but there's been back and forth for a while. It's really safe. I don't think at this point there's really any way that they would regulate it as a security, because it's out there and so many people use it now. They really,
Bitcoin?
they would have
There's no possible way.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem practical in any sense of the word. But STOs are a huge topic of discussion, because if you think about, like, Uber and taxis, Uber really replaced nearly all taxi services for the most part, right? Except for those private services where you might have somebody come in. Oh, you meant compliance. Yeah, okay, got you. Yeah, but if you think about Uber and taxi drivers, Uber disrupted the taxi industry and replaced all the taxi drivers. Right now, what we're dealing with is, with STOs and stuff like that, we have a highly inefficient way of raising funds and keeping these rules in check, which is the SEC right now. The token, you can read the code, everybody knows the agreement of what they're getting into. And you can basically do this because the laws are clear. And then it's just a matter of, did you make a sound investment or not? Which, people make bad investments. That's like not what we're trying to solve here. We can never solve that. But what we can solve is people knowing exactly what they get when they invest into a company. This is the company, it's laid out in code, it does this. Like, you can have all that notarized in your smart contract. You can have a lot of that information. You can know the investors behind it. You can know what's going on. And right now, as it sits, the SEC has mountains and mountains of paperwork, inefficient areas where, like, if you know what I'm talking about when you think about, like, bureaucratic red tape. That's basically what we're dealing with right now, and the SEC really feels threatened about this, because if you think about it, their rice bowl's on the line. Because if there's something out there that can do this a lot better, and there's no purpose for the SEC, it's not going to go away. But I think it reduces their power over the market, which is a big issue for them. So that's why they're so hostile towards it, I think, because they're definitely not trying to be friends with it. They just don't know what it is yet. But once they start to realize that it's a big issue for them, I think you're going to see a lot of pushback. What do you think, Eric?
I think that we dance a fine line between, like, not quote unquote needing the SEC versus like what it means to protect people who are users of the economy.
Sure.
So, like, I think that's what we're trying to get at. But at the same time, if this, you can't really make you can't really make those distinctions in other countries. You know,
Yeah.
you just have to put it out there.
Yeah.
Every country, and even inside of a country, just like has like a pluralistic view of how we embrace securities.
This
And that's important. It's just important to have that distinction.
This is interesting because for the first time, really, it's putting limits on everything before it starts. Like the company can no longer create, unless I'm mistaken, depending on how the contract's written, they can't create more tokens, they can't raise more funds, they can't dilute your share, they can't do a lot of things. They're very bound by these rules in the smart contract, and that's important to note. I guess what I'm trying to say about the SEC is that I think this is going to shift a lot of the regulatory efforts. I think the way that the security tokens market is going to kind of play out in comparison to how Bitcoin's playing out. Bitcoin's kind of a zero-sum game. Like there's just no stopping it because it's a community-backed project. And something like a security token where you actually have an identifiable entity where people can talk to, you know, the owner of that company or whatever the case may be. You really have somebody who's very liable for lawsuits. But this is a good way to track everything. Blockchain's an inefficient, useless database, as they say, until it's not, and it actually has an application. For instance, for crowdfunding and trying to raise money for a company, that is a great use case for blockchain. No matter what anybody says, it's a really good way to do it because it cuts through all of the.
It's pretty much the only one that is outside of like multi-signature contracts that Ethereum's been able to pull off. So
yeah, but I mean,
like,
it's impressive. Super impressive. So this isn't something that, I don't know, it's just really interesting how the SEO market's going to play out. I don't know how the SEC is going to continue on because the rules do change quite often. It's going to be very interesting. So if you convert from a 20 to an 884, what happens to the company that currently allows shares in decimal values, since 884 requires whole numbers? Example, owning 20.8 tokens of an ERC 20, then switches to an 884.
Right. Well, let's see.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I mean, how many companies are trying to do that though?
Yeah, I don't think many.
Legally, well, I mean, it's not really legal at the moment.
I don't think
to
anybody's
do that.
actively done it.
You could also issue enough shares such that like
To make it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to tailor your shares to make it around, so that maybe like 0.1 coin would be one share.
Yeah. There's a couple different.
Have, like,
I think that's like anything else. Is there's probably more than one way to do it. But yeah, I'd say that is a good question though. Anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack it, but just basically the concepts at work here. Yeah, they just plan to round it up. Yeah, pretty much.
we can talk about all this stuff for days.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically sum it up. KYC is important, customer identifier hashes. This is a great way to raise funds. It puts limits on things, which makes it really important. When you have the scope of exactly what you're doing and you can read this code, you know it's exactly what it's going to do. And that, I think we can roll into kind of what John's identifying now is these different features that are added on and different values that you can assign to them that set these limits. So I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, so what I was explaining is, so I started with the ERC 20 coin backend, and what an open equity coin contract creates. It creates a crowd sale with a weighted bidding system for rewards. So that is a start and end date, and rewards with the ability to have rewards for buying coins. The creator can always choose to ignore a lot of these features, and we're going to offer different options, different users. But this is the most complex case. So we instantiate this coin contract. We have an author address, who is the creator of the coin. This customership stake, which is the amount of equity we give, percentage of the total equity of company. In our company, we're giving to users who buy these coins. An eligible count, which is a total number of people who are going to eventually be eligible for a special reward for being the first to buy these coins, and that which can be specified by the creator. The initial amount of coins, the token name, decimal units, the start date of the crowd sale, the date of the crowd sale, the token symbol, and some special weighting terms that affect distribution of points in our bidding system, which I'll get into a bit later. But so what we can see here is that the first thing that happens when the coin contract is created is a human standard token is created. Since we have here, coin is human standard token. So this contract is inheriting all the features of the human standard token. And to create it, because it does that, we have to initialize a human standard token property defined above.
Is this very similar to like creating an object and then passing it in? I'm not very great with Solidity.
What's the best way to think about this? You're creating, I guess, a
Class?
yeah. So coin is basically a subclass of a superclass. And
Got
when
it.
you create an instance of coin, you're also creating an instance of the inherited class. But you have to specify that specifically. So you have to through this statement here. So this is basically creating an instance of the superclass, subclass. If that makes sense. To whoever's listening who knows object programming, which I would imagine most technical would know, because that's generally what they teach now. These objects. So there's a whole lot of code here. Probably most important of which is the buy coin function. So it depends. There's a whole lot of stuff I can get into here, but essentially, this will need to be modified for E884. So right now, the buy coin function works like the buy coin function for most ERC20 coins. You get an amount of ether. Then it's calculated how many coins that's equivalent to, and then you receive those coins. Now what our specific coin does for the bidding reward system is we weight your purchase value with an exponential function that decays over time, so that the first people who bid get the exact number of points equivalent to the exact amount they bid or they buy. But over time, so if you wait to buy, you'll get less and less points exponentially over time.
Okay.
And so the idea here, though, is people who buy first, who are able to commit earlier, will get access to will get more points, which will give them access to special rewards as an incentive to invest in a new innovative project. And so when they'll get this number of points, and then we record this number of points in a weighted tree, so that we can see who has the most bidding points in terms of eligibility for points. So this is what this function is. And there's a lot of code involved, but so get into ERC modification for ERC 880. We have to change them. So what's going to have to happen for buy coin is that users are going to have to register first. And so when users buy a coin, we have to check, are they registered?
And this would have to go through a KYC process, just for anybody that's listening. This is where you would hire a firm to basically verify your identity, then you'd have a database that this checks, I would assume.
Right, so there's going to be a web interface eventually in the ERC8. We're going to have to build a web interface in the ERC884 token version and we're going to try and standard this in the most open source way possible.
Mm-hmm.
To allow people to register the identity and then receive a register hash. And so before buying coin, it's going to check, have they been verified? And other than that, that's the main change. The biggest issue for creating the most straightforward system for open source registering. And that's something to be worked out. But now so I'm actually going to attempt live to make this transfer. But to actually change this to an ERC 884 standard token, we need to download this representation. And then instead of is standard token, we're going to use is ERC 884. And then here we're going to have to instantiate an ERC 884 token instead.
Nice.
Just a quick question. What is Solidity based off of? That was off of JavaScript, I would assume?
It's a combination of, I would say, Java and C++. So it's JavaScript in syntax, but there's a bit of C++ in the way it handled types and storage.
You can, the storage thing, like ant, uint. Does it allow for like?
You have to specify for complex data types. You have to specify, for example, whether something is in memory or storage. So you have to be careful with allocating memory.
Yeah. I see.
Hey, it looks like we got 5 viewers on Twitch. What's up, fam?
Yeah, we have looks like we got quite a few on Facebook as well.
Yeah, we're picking up some steam.
I just
am I gonna try this? Maybe I will. So, in ease, we're gonna copy this entire. Let's see, how long is this? 360. Okay. It's not bad. And let's see. So, first I gotta open a new my copy of OpenView so I don't break their code. So we're gonna create a new file. What's this called? What's this called? ERC 884 replication.sol. That's a great name.
That's so.
I think I'm gonna make it shorter because I don't really want to have to type that out times.
Very good.
So what should the name be? How about ERC 884 John?
You're Philly show.
Or John.
You're Philly showing, man.
Is this kind of the name? Looks like it is.
Yeah.
So we have that ERC 884 John. For the Philly viewers.
Yeah.
Cheese steaks. For the meat sweats.
For the meat sweats. All right.
For the Angry Eagles.
Yeah.
No one likes us. We don't
So
care.
one of the important things about Solidity you might not realize is your name has to be the same as the contract name. Or the contract name has to be the same as the file name.
Okay.
Otherwise it will fail, and that's the thing that bothered me for a while. They won't tell you that.
That's like
it's not really listed.
That's like
those unwritten rules of Solidity.
That's like my excessive use of commas in JavaScript, because like you're like not putting semicolons. Like that's like what always gets me. Like it even like lets me know that I'm doing it, and I like still never. It's always a comma or like a semicolon or a bracket out of place.
So what we see here, we have hopefully, I'm not sure if I need to install the ERC or the E package manager to use this. That's a question. I'm pretty sure this is importing it using ETH PM. Let's look at that.
Yeah, so dude, ETH PM, yeah, that was what I was preaching. I wanted to learn more about it. It seems awesome.
Well, here's a question. Is it harder for me to install this, or is it easier for me to, instead of importing this, I use our predefined human standard token? That's the real question.
I mean, don't go for easy. Go for causing yourself on screen.
I feel like Bob Ross in the coding world. Like, okay, now we're just gonna go add some flowers. Nice little flower in this meadow. Nice calm meadow. Nice flower.
We're gonna add some functions.
Yeah, we're gonna add some functions. Nice little set of functions. To this beautiful little ERC 884 John.
What do we have?
I wonder how many people like, if you're a coder and you're watching us, shout out, man. Like, let us know if you've used 884 before. Fill us in. Let me know.
Shout out if you never said any of these words out loud. And holler at us.
Yeah. Holler. Where my basement dwellers at?
I'm literally in a basement right now. But I'm right next to the router, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's worth it.
That's sweet Wi-Fi.
I got that. I
got that hard line.
You know what router I got?
Yeah, you gotta have a boss router. What router do you have? Like, what's the model number?
You know which one it is.
It's like the beast one.
Yeah. I don't know what router number. It is a beast router. We're pumping serious bandwidth. It's an Asus. I don't know. I can't check it right now.
Asus is better than your router.com.
It's like the Nighthawk, like top of the line Nighthawk equivalent. It's pretty sick.
Yo, Nighthawk. You're gonna beat this hard line though.
Yeah, I have a hard line coming into my docking station because if there's one criticism I have for Razer, it's that they don't have a Ethernet port, which makes no sense because it's a gaming laptop.
That's wild.
Yeah, they want you to they want to make like a clean. Yeah, you got to get a. No, I didn't get a dongle.
You gotta get
They have an adapter for that.
I'm not about that dongle life. It's just not my thing. I gotta get like an external port, like a small one.
Dongle.
I actually have this old. It was a broken, thrown away like docking station that I got from my old work. That they're like, no, we don't want it, and then I had to like fix it. It works great. Did some soldering,
Soldering, some chewing gum, duct tape.
Yeah.
Okay, so some code modification. Guess what's going to happen? We can standard. Repeated. So.
Yo, if anybody has any suggestions on copyright-free music, by the way, let us know.
Copyright-free. You could probably just Google that.
No, I know, but I'm saying
I want some like non-GMO.
Non-GMO.
Yeah, I don't want any of this like flexed out like one for club bangers when I'm trying to code here,
I am. It's my style, man.
Like, I'm just trying to get some work done.
Yeah, I'm on high alert, man. I drink a lot of caffeine and listen to some of that.
What do you drink? You drink Bitcoin energy?
Yeah, I do drink Bitcoin energy.
I slammed 10 cases of that. That's 120.
That's pretty unbelievable, actually.
Dude, I'm already gone. Done.
Hang on one second. Hang on.
Yo, if Shield's listening to this, I would love to have some more.
Hold on one second.
Are you gonna pop one open on live stream. Let's do it. We got Accelerator posting in chat. Reading an article about
There you go. I got you.
84 contracts.
I got
Oh
you.
yeah. Uh-oh. Crack it open live. Let's get that freshy clapper.
It's a little late. It's a little late for caffeine.
A little late.
Yeah, I gotta get
It's
to
not
bed.
even midnight yet.
It's 8 p.m. I'm trying to go to bed.
8 p.m. 8 p.m.
A reasonable hour.
We got another stream after this. We got Texel boys.
Oh, do we? Yeah. Team code on Taxel if everybody wants to.
Yeah, I was gonna try to do like a nice smooth transition over to it. Talk about Thunk and Saga, and we just got the thing to work with the Zoom function. That was like a month and a half of stress. I actually walked away from what I had to do for like a month.
So, you guys ever use EPM?
I haven't. That's what I was asking
I
you about.
only look at it, and I look at it, I'm like, I like this. But then,
So I feel like to make this work, I either need to massively modify this or I need to install E.
what are you gonna try to gank?
Okay. So this uses minimal token.sol as the. Let's see. So this is a minimal, right? It's ERC 884 John.
Hit that John up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't wait till this is the name that's gonna be our GitHub page.
Hell yeah! And be like, yo,
Oh yeah, we're gonna commit this code to GitHub so you guys can mess with it if you want.
And this is open source software, so anyone can play with this.
Yep. We're not gonna
check out Art Johns.
we're not gonna come after you
Completely
because we
broken
can't.
right now in this forum, but
You know
but
what?
if anyone can
I
fix
like
it,
you watching breaking software online.
Dude, it's great. Breaking software live is fantastic because it's real life. It's not Martha Stewart or Julia Child style. Sometimes we
You
do
know
that.
what? I like having my code do stuff sometimes.
Uh,
I grew up with her. She's like my mom.
Julia Childs is an amazing person. We went over this. Julia Childs was a spy during World War II in France.
So sick.
It's so badass, dude. That lady's so cool.
I don't know. And then she tells me all about chicken fricassee. So hey, that's how I learned about it. I was like,
I'm gonna bend this. Is this something I should know? Actually,
hey, should know, should not know. Let's go for it. What's up?
so I feel like to make this work, we need what's the
Yeah, you guys, I don't know how to disable Nightbot on Twitch, but apparently it's like blocking some people trying to pop in the links for our GitHub. So let me go to settings here. I'm gonna fix that real quick for you guys. Well, John is doing other things.
What are we fixing? What's wrong?
Nightbot is like blocking link postings in Twitch.
Really?
Yeah, I enabled it.
Tell Nightbot to go take a hike.
I'm trying to shut it down. Hold on.
Like, listen, I want this stuff.
Let me kill Nightbot real quick.
You know what we gotta do when we haven't live streamed yet? 99 bottles taken.
Oh yeah, that.
I think you're like, what? You're like 90% done now, right?
Well, I mean, we have a front end. Like, I mean, the token itself exists and functions. It's just a question of we want like a nice front end. People see their balls here on the wall.
Not really.
Let me see if I can fix Nightbot for you there, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Who's talking in Twitch, huh?
Who's talking? It's our guy.
Accelerator?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Accelerator? Shout out. Yeah, Nightbot's giving him a hard time.
Hey, dude.
Put Nightbot to bed.
Part
You need
channel.
some of that Bitcoin energy. Oh yeah, you need some of that Bitcoin energy.
Okay, it should be out. You can pop it in there. See if it works now.
What's up, Accelerator? Well, we're
Accelerator, try and
life
pop that.
pains. Real life pains.
There you go. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah, real life hacking.
Yeah.
Solid.
I'll work on Nightbot. We're working on a bunch of bot integrations for the channel to make life cooler. Also, let me just pop up the blog and stuff that we're doing on the website. So we want to do some changes. You know what? We have a.
Somebody just joined chat right now.
Oh really?
Ton.
On Discord.
I think on like general. Yeah, no general.
Oh cool. Okay.
Drew. Hey, what's up?
Shout him out.
Brought pizza.
Yeah. All right. So actually, let me just do a shameless shield for 4 o'clock real quick. So we just started putting a blog up. And we're gonna be posting to it some pretty solid content moving forward. We're gonna start putting the projects up, the live streams up there. Also for our site, 4o'clock.com, we're gonna host this on GitHub and we're gonna allow the community to commit changes to it. So, like obviously we'll approve them or deny them, but we want to start building out this site to make it more community oriented. You know, maybe get some good functionality in there. It's pretty minimal right now, but I'd like. The vision here is that we're gonna open it up and then have the community vote on what they'd like and try and make it a pretty sick app. I'm thinking of going the Angular route, but my team does React, so 50-50 on that.
People in chat that said they wanted to do Angular.
Yeah.
In fact, you should, just so you can have somebody on.
Yeah. So, like,
Yeah, Angular is like that.
It's like the other one.
I definitely, if anybody's interested in, you know, maybe committing changes to the site or like, you know, maybe starting that project with me, I think I'm going to start going pretty full bore on that. What I'd like is to see our tickets, essentially like getting the site to a place where it has APIs with Eventbrite, where you can just register solid right on there and have it more like an interactive hackathon site. It'd be cool if we could maybe start doing more stuff with it, you know, like maybe like a rank.
Are the sites in Angular?
Yeah, I started building it out. It's really, I'm not great right now, so I gotta start.
Our alpha site.
Yeah.
Alpha. Okay.
Our alpha site, yeah. So what we're gonna do is start outlining the project test. What I want to do is have rankings things for developers on there too, for like who won the most and stuff, and like commits, like GitHub commits. Maybe pull those in and see who's like at the top, contributing like open source projects and kind of like rank them. That'd be pretty cool. Wow. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas, but I think what the goal is to make it cool.
You stop having ideas, honestly. I don't know what you think this is. We don't do that around here. Yeah, and that goes for everybody listening in, tuning in to more ideas. We're good. Subscribe. How about that?
No. Yeah, if you guys give us a follow too, we got sick. We're gonna start doing more motion graphics and stuff. I think I'm gonna give you guys like control over.
We gotta play more with GIFbot.
Yeah, we're gonna get GIFbot in there, and that way when people subscribe, they can like bomb the channel or something. I don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe we should all like play with Linux.
No, we gotta have a pom pom. You guys watch Ninja? He's got his own little pom pom dance. Little cherubs dancing across the screen, telling us that it's good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did a good thing today, and I made my code work, and I wish I had a little soundbite for it. For what? For just winning. I Zoom function work. I got the Zoom function work after a month and a half.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it works, but now it's like I think that I should restrict on how many blocks actually go on the screen.
Yeah. I was lazy today and actually went outside.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What's out there, man?
I went outside for like 5 minutes. I got stung by a fire ant.
Did you go outside?
Yeah. And it was cold.
Go back to your basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to your basement where there's no fire ants.
Dude, seriously though.
Oh snap!
You know what? I just remembered.
Guess what I did?
What?
I just added a constructor. Then you
Ah.
can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see that.
Check this out. So this is what the ERC 20 John or ERC 884 John is constructor. So we have to specify the total supply. So most things are fixed. Well, I guess we also go supply. Let's see. I guess the token name and the what's it acronym?
I don't know. What is the acronym?
Don't know, but we gotta specify it. But once we have these three things in this constructor, we're ready to roll.
The total supply, string name, and
Let's see. What are we gonna call it? It's not an acronym. It's my mind's blanking.
it's alright.
The initials.
Check it out. You mean the death
So
sign?
the symbol. What's technical for like the just
The
beat?
ticker?
No, he's talking about something that represents another thing. Like almost like a pointer. You're talking like an alias.
Alias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this, I guess, I'm gonna call it initials
Yeah.
Ticker?
or tokens.
Identifier.
That's better for Sam.
Yeah.
ID. So
So you doing that just for what is that the Java habit for making an underscore for locally scoped variables?
no, there's actually a functional reason.
Wow.
If you try and set a variable with total supply equals total supply, it will throw a crazy error, which you'll have no idea why your code work. You cannot do that. You cannot override.
Can you throw the error so we can look at it? I want to know what the error is.
If this code was like in a position to be compiled, maybe. But we're not there yet.
Oh.
But yeah, so that's a really important thing. Another really important thing that people won't tell you. Like it's not obvious from documentation that you can't override a variable name with another variable in the same name. So if you're trying to set this total supply by passing the variable called total supply, it will have some pretty unwanted consequences.
Sick.
Yeah, you'll get like some invalid crazy stuff.
Yo, guess what, guys?
Hmm.
I got tacos arriving.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Tacos, boy. Not even Taco Bell tacos. We got La Fogata, but that real.
Authentic.
Oh yeah. I had that last night.
Fun
Back.
fact.
Yep. Oh yeah. Everybody, tweet out this stream on Twitch. We're trying to get more people on Twitch. I want Twitch. I love Twitch. So like,
I've secretly just like streamed Twitch literally all day.
Twitch is pretty legit. There's our primary demos on Twitch. So we need to get more coders on Twitch. But I mean, like
Yeah,
YouTube.
Don't forget with Periscope. We got 4 people on Periscope right now too.
Yeah, we had 7 on Twitch a minute ago. Now we got 6. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Hey, what's that?
Welcome to the show.
All right, we have a constructor.
How constructive of you.
Oh.
I don't know how I can see how dry I can make my humor. No, I can't make it drier. Yeah, but for real, we got 5 people now on Periscope. Oh,
Yeah, 6 on Twitch. Got 2 on YouTube. Got 6 on Periscope. Oh my god.
what about Facebook?
We just had 2. Some people left though.
Yay!
Facebook's old news, but we're doing it. In case you prefer, I'd like to get on Instagram. That'd be great. We need to work
your
on that.
baby boomer uncle wants to learn how to make a token.
Hey man, it's a thing.
Yeah, they just fucking load and make tokens.
Trying to get that alien coin money.
Some galleon quest.
Galleon quest, you know.
So what?
I guess actually, like, so this is I guess shipwrecks are like big business. Like they found like $774 billion worth of gold on this one shipwreck. So it makes me reconsider Galleon Quest.
Yeah,
Might be a sound investment.
Scouting quest?
Galleon Quest. There's this coin.
We ran into them at
Blockchain World Conference, yeah.
in Atlantic City. They're literally an ICO for sunken treasure.
No. They're an
I was
STO.
gonna say
They're an
that.
STO.
Let's create a sunken treasure coin.
Yo, we could probably outcompete Galleon Quest.
We
I don't
could
know,
really
man.
easily use
I don't-
open equity.
Hey, I don't think we could though, because this dude's like, they're experienced.
They're like a yeah, but they're like 105. So like they can't
Yeah, well, guess what?
they can't even
Listen,
pick the treasure up, man.
I'll pay for his
Here you go.
gastric bypass.
Here you go. Eric.
What's up?
You see my screen?
Must be your screen.
Yeah. Look at. Look
I'm
at.
like watching everybody's screen. Hold on. Oh wow, you got the calendar. Or is that the printout? You got the printout. I'll be able to see.
Dude, they got a nice roadmap here. It's a treasure map.
Yeah, yeah. Screw it. The roadmap, treasure map.
Yeah, treasure map.
There's also cryptocurrencies.
I mean,
they sell C tokens. SEA.
They still
Ticker, boy.
they're in the triple pre-sale, man.
Hey, no, just like a little disclaimer: we do not offer financial advice. This is merely satire.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, don't. Wait, I don't want to. I feel like we backed ourselves in a corner.
I feel like we're selling people down the road. We're like, yeah, buy it.
No.
Send me the check.
We are unaffiliated. Unaffiliated. Nothing to do with
No,
it.
the only thing is that I keep their card in my wallet for some reason. I get like a little chuckle every once in a while.
Dude, I keep it on my desk. It's the greatest token that ever exists.
It's
I
like
mean-
you get the dopamine release without even buying the token.
Yeah. I'm kind of rooting for them. I hope they find treasure.
Oh, that's pretty. Well, I see it was over, so. You know.
No, it's not. It's not over. It's not over.
It's not.
No.
I'm gonna spend my life savings on
They're still in pre-sale, man.
Man, I wish we could make this stuff up.
And you guys ever installed a package with Tropical?
No.
Let's watch this.
Like that. Yeah, what's zoom that in.
Okay, give me a second.
It takes forever.
Tabs.
Watch John May's computer like kill it. I keep getting errors every time I'm installing these truffle boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
they're
you're
not-
on Windows. Oh, it's open.
Let's see where am I?
Oh, we got some code going on here. It's my kind of.
I think we've been having code. Wait, can we make it way bigger?
My screen's build code.
No, but I'm talking about from the shell. I'm talking about Ghost in the Shell right now. We're in the shell. This is where things get exciting.
Yeah, can we give it's the blockchain's natural habitat.
Blockchain's natural habitat.
Yo, can you do Control Plus?
Yeah, give me a second. I want to get into the right folder to see it. Yeah, let's see good stuff.
You're gonna get hacked.
Yo, if you're part of a project that feels like sponsoring, us to hack on their code, let us know. You just want to hop on? Let us know. We're pretty much open right now. We're open to working with anything.
Yeah, I'm open to.
I gotta move myself.
I'm about to use myself of any. Use.
That's a great word everyone learned last year.
Yeah.
All right. Check it.
Oh, my fat head's in the way.
Bigger.
Hold on.
What
That,
bigger?
yeah. That text.
Oh no, Adam! Oh yeah.
Okay, that's.
A little bit much.
Let's.
You know, when people are live streaming, we can just show their phones off and be like, yo, look at this hacking, bro.
Yeah, tell your friends you built something. Look at.
Tell your friends, all you need is some blue code rain, and you made it.
That's it.
So we're doing truffle install.
So we're installing Zeppelin.
Oh wow, they have the
Oh.
truffle.
P.S. to anybody that was sharp enough to read the blue code rain, it says fork block in random characters.
Yeah, I don't know if it's too small for my.
You know, I can make
I'm on my cell phone.
Did it work or didn't work?
It's like, yeah.
So did it go so fast that it didn't install anything, or it just didn't install anything? Let's try it again. So it's showing.
Darn.
Oh darn!
We got cool motion
yeah,
graphics.
You lied me.
Yeah, I love this. Yo, his name's not Adam Manka.
I know. I don't have
We
you
gotta
guys
get
motion
on that.
graphics.
I want to have more graphics so I can like swoop in.
Yeah.
I like have a bunch of italics like crowd surf me in.
Alright, so.
Yeah, with your bottle picture, just like riding in on my fiddlix.
Yeah. Everyone just crowd
Let's
surf.
go
off
in
people
the
with frail arms.
development console.
Now, once you go inside here, you think you can test out to see if it's installed?
We've been holding at 6 consistent, 7 viewers
See what
on
happens
Periscope, by the
If I
way.
try
Yeah.
and migrate the code now.
Hey, we see, well, on Periscope, we got Arm
7.
Mulvey.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome.
What's up? What's
Welcome.
going on? Not a porn bot. What's up?
Nah. I don't think so, because they've been here too consistently.
Well, I don't know. Those porn bots are pretty damn consistent.
No. I mean, like, they haven't been dropping in and out. They usually do.
Oh, true. Yeah. Then they have like, they come up with like a bunch more.
Yeah.
Yep. So here's the issue. I either try and
Randall
get
Mulvey. What's up? Yo, what up, Randall?
He's an electrical contractor. Shout out. I just checked out his,
Yeah.
This is a real issue now. I need to get these contracts. Whether I need to. It's the whole EPM to use this.
No, you're never gonna get it.
I wonder if that's creepy that I just creep on people that join. Sorry.
Don't follow me now.
Word.
Yeah, I'm following you now, Randall. What's up, boy?
He said, "What's happening?" Not much, man. Welcome to the stream. We're hacking on some Ethereum.
Wait. I hate when people say that. There's a lot going on, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. There is a lot going on.
We got a lot. And
Eric,
then
if you give a summary of what's going on?
Sure. Yeah. So we were playing
right
with.
now we have a bunch of pain and suffering, live streamed. Actually, no. What we're doing right now is that we are converting an ERC 22 into a ERC 881 token. It's 4. But, 884. No, that's really important. ERC 884 with the sole purpose of trying to a security token client with anti-money laundering, know your customer software, so you can actually reduce the friction between new users hear about the wonders and uses of smart contracts and what it means in the long macroeconomic sense of it versus actually doing it. So right now, we're taking the liberty of smashing our head against the table over and over again until it works for you all. That's why we live stream. See it right now. We're trying to use some standard contracts and are trying to install contracts on Open Zeppelin, which is basically a vetted source for contracts. So we will go over the final code base, but it makes it easier for us to start building blocks and stand on the shoulders of others who come before us. So we got standard token.sol.
Yeah, I'm just copying and pasting.
Yep,
It's a lot faster than trying to figure it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
But that's the thing I really want to know, because it would be so simple. All you have to do is just import things from GitHub.
Well, technically, when you do that import, can you do it? Can't you just give like the entire URL?
Where?
You can do that in Remix. You can do that in Remix.
Where?
Yeah, it works in Remix, but see here it says cannot find ERC. So you can't find this sources.
You can do that from NPM, can't you?
What?
You can do NPM.
Yeah, no package manager. I can do that.
NPM will do it for you.
Yeah, the easier thing is just to go on the site, on these contracts, paste the biz.
Yeah, dump it. You know, technically, we don't even need to split up all these files. Just have one big fat SOL file.
You can do that
That's
like.
usually what I do. When I'm first making like a contract that's big and deep and heavy, like I don't split them up at all. Like I don't change it for the migrations. I just have one big fat file, stick it in units or something. Because I find that if I'm trying to jump between like a million contracts, it's like what do they call it? Lasagna code. Lasagna code. Yeah, it's when you have too many layers. It's mostly pasta, not enough sauce.
Mostly pasta, not enough sauce.
Yeah, you don't want that in your lasagna. You want to have a little ricotta cheese.
That's interesting. I've never actually done that. I've seen it, like, I think I've done it, but I've never used it
in your productive. Yeah, I usually just make one very large file and then break it up later. Just because.
There's
Just
so
because
many
one.
dependencies here.
Say it again.
There's a lot of dependencies here.
Yeah. And not everybody has like a really parallel mindset, so it's nice to just have this one big linear file.
Yeah.
You know what? Periscope is actually awesome.
I'm happy we implemented it.
It's like better.
I think it's great for crypto Twitter. For sure.
That's what I'm saying. Crypto Twitter like definitely has like that benefit. That's like the most insular media ever. Helps it like
Twitter, air it out.
yeah, it's like when like you get caught in the memeplex. Don't get out of crypto Twitter. The way I got out of crypto Twitter, the way I got out of crypto Twitter was I started subscribing to it. I was like, man, I'm just like all these libertarian blogs are starting to follow me. I'm in trouble.
Oh,
Man, these libertarians, man.
I don't think they're dangerous.
Nothing more annoying than like a libertarian that loves crypto.
No, come on, stop. Come on.
What?
Come
What?
on.
We're gonna mail bombs to me? What?
Dude, stop. Stop.
What?
you know,
Self-
libertarians.
You don't want to beat up too much of it.
I'm not, dude, I'm basically that. too.
Yeah, boy, I know you live, dog. Like,
Yeah, dude, just stop. It's just not a productive conversation. Yeah, no, it's just not productive.
Hopefully this is all we need. So I just imported basic. So I imported minimal token, which takes standard token, which takes basic token, which takes ERC20 basic, which takes ERC.
yeah, see, that's kind of why I do that. Just because there's
Oh
so
wait,
many...
safe math.
Oh yeah, let's talk about safe math for a second. Just because of... But
What about safe math?
well, why would you use safe math?
It's very, very important.
Yeah, why?
That's the topic of my future live stream. So I guess this is kind of beautiful. So rent integer, underflow, and overflow errors.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with your math. Solidity does not like math. Solidity is like, I don't know, who's someone who hates math?
No.
No, must self-censor. Pretty much everybody in my high school. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much everyone in your high school.
Actually, we were in Texel, the DAP that we're writing. We actually had
Developers don't like math, I feel like.
Yeah, it depends on which one.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
like
web developers.
My teacher was a back-end developer in college, and he hated math. He couldn't stand it. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's just pointless computer to it.
Yeah, adding, subtracting, multiplication, like what's that?
Yeah, it's just
I
pointless.
mean, you don't. It's not like mutually like. You don't have to have one for the other.
Mhm.
But like, if you know your way around, like basic, like calculus, run your algebra, you become a whole different tier of programming.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, your run-of-the-mill programmer is probably not the best mathematician of all time.
You're not, isn't it? Totally true. That's
Right.
why like the emergence of like artificial intelligence has gotten quicker. A lot of like the deeper like research math has like became like 70 now.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't actually have to know anything. Because,
Accelerators said algebra's fine.
Embedded gradients and algorithms.
Calculus is too much. Calculus is sick, man. Calculus explains a lot of stuff. It's like, I used to hate it.
Yeah, but
the instantaneous rate of change is amazing.
Doing very basic things in Solidity, such as taking a power, taking a logarithm.
As soon as you
dividing,
basically understand that, like, a variable in calculus, like basically what you're solving for in algebra, is like an actual function, like, it's pretty easy to understand, like, that it's just continuously changing. Like, it's representative.
Yeah, like here on my screen right now, this is how you calculate the exponential function.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to write your own exponential function. That kind of makes
Yeah, luckily I shout out to Gnosis for having an open source math library, which is pretty sweet.
Stefan, you're the man, Stefan George.
Yeah,
Oh,
Alan.
Holler.
Well, they have, and this is another crazy thing I can get into for probably how this works. That's a whole nother live stream. But Solidity has support for fixed point arithmetic, which no one will tell you, and where you have to represent your numbers in hexadecimal.
Yeah,
So
that's why.
And so you can do math, and so you just have to, all your numbers have to look like this.
And that's why Solidity is still a very young language. That's why we're here.
Yep, telling you about this stuff. So if you're trying to use Solidity, look up fixed point arithmetic and
Wait, are those
What?
Say again?
I'm trying to figure out what you're saying about fixed point arithmetic here because I zoned out for a
So
second.
Solidity fixed point arithmetic is a way of representing numbers by powers.
Yeah,
So-
why don't you pull up the wiki on it? Or Wolfram Alpha, let's go.
No, it's okay. I got
So right here you're representing basically decimal by
a hash.
their hex point.
Yeah.
Like, why not? You want to do a fixed point? Let's check it out. Why would you plug in that?
No. I'm good.
Anyway, that's beyond the point. The point is safe math is a library you use because there are certain numbers that are unsafe to add, divide, and multiply that will cause numbers to completely change values and basically break your contract. And next live stream, I'm going to show you how to do that. How using the wrong math will break your ERC20 token.
InfoSec. Oh.
But, so point being though, Open Zeppelin has its own safe math library. And you don't need, but instead of using Open Zeppelin's library, we're going to use the Gnosis math library. Now, I wish we could say the Open Equity math library, but that doesn't exist yet.
Maybe we should publish our trigonometry library.
Yeah, I was trying to make my own. Now that I understand how things went down. Let's see. So import safe math. Let's see. Track, add. Sweet. And that should, all the dependencies should be. So now we have to go back to our ERC 884 John. Right?
Nice.
So instead of fix that, we have to go to ERC 4.sol. We have to fix that. And let's see what happens. Let's see it. Oh yes, the ownable.sol has permission. Where is it? Ownership, full.sol. That's the same thing. .sol. Do you guys know much about ownable.sol contracts?
Yeah. It's like it gives you the ability it actually just adds like those two functions that allow you to. You know, that's something that I saw what is it, Viper, which I thought was really cool. That the decorator, instead of having all these extra functions, just be like, oh, I have a function, I'm gonna decorate. Oh, I'm gonna decorate this burnable. Oh, I'm gonna decorate this function.
Is there any really good kits for Visual Studio for Solidity, or are they all kind of just mediocre?
Studio character. I think you're seeing some Solidity linting errors coming up. It's kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Let's see, what is this?
Solium, yeah, you can get that in the extension marketplace.
Solium's alright. It's some of the errors are weird. I think it's necessarily the best.
But it's not.
What do you think is the best one?
I don't use a linter.
How do you not use a linter?
Install one. Good.
I like linters.
Linux?
Linters. I like linters.
Oh no. Well, I haven't found a good one for Solidity, so I just don't use it. JavaScript or like JSX or ES6, like literally every day. That stuff's like already melted down pat. But
yeah, you do code as a great job.
yeah, it's basically like I don't even have to code it anymore. I just like hit 3 buttons and like entire contract.
Muffle not down. Check this error.
Let's check it out.
So contracts ERC20.sol.
Go back to that.
Right.
So migrate reset. Any sources imported from blah blah. Parse error. Parse functions. Was it
25.1.
Structure modifier not detected.
Line 25.
Oh, I think that what Seahouse is not found. One of the names is not like the other. The name of the contract is not the same as.
Yeah, is it supposed to be ERC 20? Or
Yeah, that.
okay.
See, I just don't see what it's like.
Well, go back to the command line. I'll tell you. Hold on.
Let's look at it.
In ERC 20 sol, line 25 -1. Is that what it's saying?
Variable structure modifier. Okay, this thing is so I think it's something to do with
Yeah, I think Lewis is back.
So I'm back.
Wow, no, we're still chugging along, you know.
This is awesome. Yeah.
We get that longevity. We're like marathon runners.
Sorry, I dropped.
It's all right. It happens.
I think you're good.
We just been talking code, nerding out a little bit.
So we've been trying to use these 2 ERC8 workers, but the problem is they were using package manager. We were not sure how to install EPAM package manager, so we just downloaded all the opens.
I think we just
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what?
Something I should really learn, but probably right now is not the best time to try it.
You know what? Do it live. We're gonna do it live.
What live?
doing it live.
Yeah, problem is we're already here live. So parse error 12. So back to ERC 20. It does view returns. Oh, that's
Which is the other reason why I make one big file. You know, I'm like, there's so many things like that.
So we're back to here. Function variable structure modifier declaration expected.
It's one of your imports.
Yeah, but there is no import. Or I mean, there is one import. It's ERC 20 basic. We have that covered. ERC 20 basic right here.
Well, what folder is it?
Same.
Is it the same folder or is it looking for another folder?
Or is it like the dot and the slash find the same? Yeah, sure it is. So ERC 20 basic is right here. Right? And that makes sense. And so you see, right? It's mysterious. And now it's saying line 26 when. Or is it
Wait.
that bracket?
Yeah.
So remember, kids, solidity beats brackets. Brackets and semicolons. That's like it's like the fuel of Solidity code. You need these things and these things. And what I didn't have was the closing tag. And apparently, this is the error Solidity will give you for closing.
Dude, we got my buddy Dan in here. What's up, Dan?
Who?
He's a programmer.
Dan, which chat we got?
Oh no, he's on Facebook. I think he left. He needs to join up though. I'm gonna send him a Discord invite. I forgot. Dan, join up. Discord, man. Get in there.
This production is amazing. The matrix flowing on the sides
You like it?
and the floating head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, right?
Oh, so
We have like, we can roll in video actually. We actually did postpone Raleigh, but I could roll in like a video and have like an advertisement play if somebody had.
Let's just get like a Bitcoin energy.
I don't have a video. Let me see if they have a video.
They got mad videos. They got cooler people than me.
I'll work on that.
Yeah.
I'll work on that. We'll give them a.
Yo, Shudo, if you're listening, I need more Bitcoin energy.
Who doesn't need more
You
Bitcoin
gotta send me
energy?
some. I need.
I have cases of Bitcoin energy at my house. Cases. So I'm good on the Bitcoin energy.
We got cases of it, and I'm straight out. Done. What?
I got cases. I still need more.
I know. No, I had cases. I drank. Me and my friends and family drank 120.
It's unbelievable that you drank so much of that.
120.
That doesn't sound healthy.
That's enough caffeine to kill a few people.
It has 80 milligrams, so it's like 1 cup of coffee. It's less than 1 cup of coffee. 1 cup of coffee is 95 milligrams, and Bitcoin is got.
So you're telling me I should quit drinking coffee and start drinking Bitcoin energy?
Yes, 100%.
Dude, it's got
aloe.
it's
very good.
it's
Nice. It's got a lot of B vitamins. It's nice.
it's surprising because it only has 8 grams of sugar, which is like actually super
Yeah, that's
impressive.
not. It's not like gonna kill you.
But it's tasting good.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
it's delicious.
Oh, I got my calendar. Be right back.
Anyone? Do you guys have a solution? Yes, for this. Finding the actual error from all the warnings. Really, I should fix the warnings, but there's so many. Right there. See, there it is. What I should do is using something like grep. I should export this like text file and search it for error. Expected 0. Interesting. So I'm wondering if we put it in the wrong place. Is everyone still there?
Yeah. Oh, we got new registration for San Francisco. I think we're above 50 on our hackathon in San Francisco. I think that broke us. And that's 2 months out, so that's pretty exciting. More than 2 months. It's like almost 3. I think we're going to extend that, make it multiple day.
So,
Yeah, we just got. I think we got another viewer on YouTube. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Can we do a live feed thing with comments on?
I'm checking all the comments now. I'm gonna read them to you guys if anybody posts them. We only had Accelerator was posting, but that was about it. He had a couple questions, but I'm just looking through here. We got 2 people. If you're on YouTube, you have any questions, and you know what we're doing right now is just playing with the open equity code, which is really cool. We're just spinning up basically ERC 884 right now. Just a nice little token. And that code is going to be available on GitHub, so you can pull it down. But I'm just working out the bugs right now, but we should have it up and running very soon.
It's almost there. Just have to get the constructor.
Danny said, "Hey, what's up, man? Join the Discord, man."
Oh snap! Look what's going on. It's trying to compile weight. You know, I'd have to like. Oh, there it goes.
All right.
Open equity now on ERC the main core token. I mean, that was probably the easiest part of this, actually. So all we
Sweet.
did was add a constructor and imported a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, so now what we have to do is, let's see, so we're going to have to add so we have to go back to ERC 884, we're going to have to mint token.
Yeah, no, I think it's trying to reconnect and it's got issues.
How long is this stream going?
Almost 2 hours at this point.
Yeah, I feel like we got something file and work. I'm happy.
Okay. Well, I think what we're going to do, check and make sure it was still up.
What?
I'm going to check and make sure I'm still up here. Should be. My connections are switching on and off. I think it's my docking station.
So I'm trying to get some dinner.
Okay. Yeah, I think we should kill it. Okay. Yeah, we're dropping frames, so we got to get out of here. But
Call it.
yep, I'll talk to you guys later. That was the ERC 884. In case I'm still recording, if I'm not streaming, probably a little choppy. So talk to you guys later.
All right. Thanks for having.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. It's fun.
See you guys.
See ya. I'm trying to kill this.